To all my pink-haired girly lovers, I'm sorry friends, I don't have one on my list today, but I promise if you love red hair girlies, I got your back for today. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. So very excited that you're here. I cannot remember if in my weekly schedule that I shared for this week in the community post and online, if I mentioned that I was sharing pink-haired girlies from different Villainess series. I can't remember, but if I did, I'm sorry because I realized the only one that I have that I've read is 7 Time Loop. And I featured that last week and I really didn't want to try and have like any duplicates in my top 5 Wednesday videos this month. So I'm sorry, I can't include her, but hopefully out of my 5 picks that you do see some exciting girlies for today. And also, since last week in that video, I forgot to mention my game that I did. I did a GIF and I thought we could do it again, but this time we're gonna do Villainess Manga edition instead of the Manhwa edition. I have it in, pretty sure I uploaded it on all my socials, also on the community post, but I have a link down below to last week's game and today's game. Go check it out, go see what Villainess manga you should read next or should try using, you know, where you have to tap and hold the screen for it to stop and see the cover, or you take a screenshot. I hope you really enjoy it. There's so many wonderful Villainous manga and manhwa as last week showed, so I just have really enjoyed it and I hope you are too. But let's talk about specifically with the Villainous title, since we're continuing the Villainous event here, that we're going to feature red-haired Villainesses, and I had really a lot of fun with this. There's only one title this week that I have not read, but I'm still going to feature it anyway because I love how bright her red hair is, and it's just a series I've wanted to read, which I guess let's just go ahead and start off with that for number 1. An observation log of my fiance who calls herself a villainess. This was in my event and I was so very bummed that it did not get in the top 3, though May I Ask One Final Thing and 2 others did. Definitely check out this video here to see how everything went and what 3 titles I'll be reading. Hopefully as I'm filming this video and it going live that I've already posted in the community post because my kiddo, my youngest, excuse me, and my husband were sick at the beginning of this week when I was filming. But I did want to see and hear more about this one in the sense of I wanted to read it for myself. I wanted to read it for myself because I have heard really great things. It's about well, first, what makes this series, I believe, unique for the Villainous genre is that it's told from the perspective of the male lead. But it has all those villainous tropes, so don't worry, where the female lead, she has been recarded into this game and she tells her fiance that basically she wants to break off this engagement because she's gonna go live her best life as a villainess, and his days are pretty boring, like her fiance here, the male lead, and he, I guess, becomes very interested in her when I guess she even tells him that she has been reincarnated. I'm like, girl, you came right out from the start telling all of the secrets here of the villainous genre, and he just finds it interesting. So much so that no, he doesn't want to break off the engagement. He just finds her fine. And so I want to read this. I really, really do. And she is a red-haired girly. She looks so cute too on the cover. I love how she's that yellow dress. Like, she gives the villainous vibes, but the fun villainous vibes, you know what I'm saying? But I haven't really, you know, I have not really, I have not read it yet, but it's been in my wish list. A lot of people were really excited to at least see it in the event, so hopefully at some point I can read it before the next Villainous event, or we'll have it in that one. For number 2, I don't have this series just yet, but I read it digitally on Webtoons, and that is not your typical reincarnation story. I love this so much. I was like, Laura, please do it justice. I binge read this during a weekend. I think I mentioned it in my video when it was licensed. If it wasn't then, I know it was that reading wrap up video for that month. But oh my goodness, Edith is so precious, has red hair, so cool, so beautiful. So it's about a young woman who was living in Korea and something happens and she wakes up in the body of the villainess of a romance novel that she had read. Of course, she's like, oh, well, I know how this story is going to go and I know what I need to do, especially since I'm the villainess. Avoid all the red flags, avoid everything. She was planning to do just that, live a quiet life. Well, the thing is she's actually engaged to, I think it was the second male lead, but she knows that the second male lead and her fiance here, that he loves who's supposed to be the main female lead. He is just out to get Edith, like around every move, every time, anywhere. He is just ready to berate this woman. I was so mad at him at the beginning. I ain't even gonna front. I was really mad. He was in that doghouse, but he won me over. He won me over. Everything's good. We find out, as the blurb even says, why is he so against her? Could there be something bigger or greater at play that is sort of involved in this story? And Edith has to break the story more or less and change things so that she herself can stay alive and have a happy ending. Just the second male lead, he want to be involved in that as things change in the story. I loved Edith. I really admired how honestly she gets reincarnated into this novel, and she's like, man, my now husband is super handsome. I unfortunately finally had to delete them off my phone because I was running out of space, but I actually had it saved where she's like, do you think you could get away with it just because you have a sexy face? And she's like, oh, I need to stop falling for these handsome and beautiful people. And I was like, girl, if I was reincarnated into like my favorite manga, yes, girl, yes, I would be the same way. So I found her really relatable in that sense. Also, of her trying to change the story, well, I don't feel like she was really trying to change it. It was more of like she's just trying to stay out the focus, out the picture. She knows what's gonna happen. Like, she knows her husband here does not love her, but yet he... Sorry, I don't know how to finish that statement because I was about to go into some spoilers, like, because I have shared in my latest reading wrap-up, actually, of how I'm reading the side story right now. So I gotta, condense it and not tell all of the things, but I really love how this story progresses. I really loved as well of how Edith, she's so strong. When you find out and you see things from her past, her backstory, like just in this villainous role, it is hard. It is so hard when she finally speaks up and speaks out in a really, I feel like it's the most triggering scene of the series, honestly, or at least one of them, when she is just vulnerable with the second male lead. That is when everything actually started to change for me. I had already loved the story up to that point, just as an FYI. But when it came to the male lead specifically, my view started changing of him. And that's when you start asking yourself questions alongside Edith of what exactly is going on. And I really do appreciate how she finds out that she needs to do certain things to stay alive, because there really is a greater force at play, and it is dirty of what this force is doing. I cannot wait for the whole series to be out and do a review on it. Even if I can't do a review on it, just talk about it with people, because when this is not your typical reincarnation story, I genuinely feel like that is such an accurate title for this series. I feel like Edith, yes, she may fall into the typical tropes of the Villainess series, which I love that. I didn't have a problem with that, but it's how she faces these tropes, how she faces what is being forced on her, and that whoever does not want her to get out of this villainous role. And she's not even really trying to escape it. I feel like she's not embracing her inner villainess, so to speak. Again, she just is living quietly to the best of her ability, but girl be stand up for herself when people be saying things, and I'm like, tell it. Tell it. A very compelling and engaging story, and I would highly recommend it. You can actually go read the whole thing for free on Webtoon since it's ongoing. You don't need coins or whatever system that they have. I think it's coins, but you don't need any of that. You can just binge it like I did, where you binge it in like 3-4 days and no regrets. I was exhausted though. I just love how this story progresses. I love how Edith changes and she grows across all these different trials that she faces. She's such an overcomer. Also, though, she's not willing to, or she's willing, excuse me, to lay her life on the line. And it's like, please don't, because that is when things are very intense and very grave. And I loved every single moment of it. Maybe I'm not doing this story justice in the way that I want to, but I really think it's a story that people will really enjoy if you're looking for genuine character growth, not just in the female lead, but I would also say in the male lead as well, and the love interests, and how honestly surrounding cast of characters change and you get to see the real them. Very, very cool. But that's all I could say, because I could feel myself trying to slip into them spoilers, and I truly don't want to give any major ones, but this was a story that deeply surprised me, and I've said it in one of my videos that for everybody who recommended this to me, you were right that I would love this. Thank you for those recommendations. I cannot wait to pick this up physically. For number 3, I am so excited to feature this, and that is the most heretical last boss queen from Villainess to Savior, our sweet girl Pride. Oh my goodness. For the first time in a long time, I came back to this and was skimming through the beginning, and I was like, y'all, that's Hero Works. We're strong. They were there. It's about another young woman who gets reincarnated. Is it an otome game? Her favorite video game, excuse me. Reincarnated as the Villainess, and since she knows how the adult Pride, the adult Villainess is before, you know, she's reincarnated into that Villainess's body in the game, she wants to avoid that because the adult Pride, the original Pride, is awful. Just plain wicked. Enjoying seeing tragedy strike, enjoy seeing people that were supposed to be close to her and that she was supposed to love. There was some anger, some extreme anger towards the original Pride. So this young woman who has been reincarnated as her wants to do everything and anything in her power to avoid that ever happening. So when she gets these memories, like when she meets this young man here, Stale, and she has flashbacks of the original Pride, she is terrified. This young Pride, she's terrified, and she even goes as far to say, not just to Stale, because she says it to somebody else as well, that if you ever see me acting like a wicked queen, you need to take me out immediately. It was very different for me when reading this manga, and I do have a video review on the series. It's only 3 volumes for this. It's ongoing as a new series in Japan since I guess the artist wanted to stop at 3 volumes. There's also a light novel for it as well. But it was very emotional for me in seeing a villainous character who is literally grieving for who she feels she's going to turn into. That she tells people around her that she trusts and cares for that if she ever were to act like how that original Pride Villainess did, to just make her unalive. It was shocking and surprising. It's not gory or anything like that, but the emotions that I felt when reading, because you can really see through the conveying of the art and the panels and the story itself. She doesn't want this. She does not want any other person to ever suffer at her hands. It's crazy to me because she's making changes along the way. She's changing the original game, but despite these changes, she fully believes she will turn into that. She fully believes and almost embraces her future death one day. And it was like, girl, you know, you're changing things. That's why we're here as readers, to see how these villainesses change things. But despite her seeing or making those changes, it's like she can't see them being anything different, because even in this scene, she gets a memory and she's like, oh, I triggered the original, we'll say, plot in the manga. When it's like, no, I mean, yes, you might have triggered an event, but it's different. It's different. You yourself are different, but there is this soberness almost that is carried through these 3 volumes. And so I think it's a series that I don't tend to reread often because it's hard. It's hard. It's a beautiful story of seeing Pride grow and change, but yet she's not seeing the results of that change. And I feel like why I personally would want to get the manga that's ongoing in Japan, because I love how this story unfolds and I would love to see more of that. I would love to see how Pride fights back without even realizing it, of how she's changing things for the better and being able to see the fullness of those changes. Also, this really isn't a romantic story. I feel like there's potential love interests, but I don't really think it's going anywhere. I don't know, because we did talk about my manga news video how season 2 of the anime did get announced and it mentions Pride's marriage, but I'm like, who are the candidates here? I don't know. Maybe it's said in the manga and I just don't remember. I don't know. But I would definitely say this is a great villainous story to read if you're not looking, similar to how we talked about last week with Kill the Villainess, that you don't want something that's overly humor. Though I would say, unlike Kill the Villainess, this one does have little bits and bouts of humor, and the found family vibes are very, very beautiful. So yeah, if you want something that's more sobering or maybe just more serious and you're really feeling the weight of the original Villainess's actions, as well as that beautiful found family, and seeing a young woman genuinely change for the better, changing those around her in such the most positive ways. This series is it. It's one of the, I think I even said in that manga news video that this is one series I've really debated getting the light novels just because of how much I loved reading this manga. It is very beautiful and very heartfelt and would definitely highly recommend it. For number 4, we are doing my wild card from my Villainess event that I'm still shocked got in the top 3, and that is if the villainess and villain met and fell in love. She was all but disowned for her spirit contract, but she's still competing with her rival. That's the subtitle part right there. I feel like I never read it, so I was like, oh, I should read it for today. I love this manga. It is one I've gotten so excited about every time we've gotten a new volume. The releases are so slow. It does have a light novel that's out by Yen Press as well. It's about our main female lead, Brigade, and she, as the subtitle said, she was all but disowned for her spirit contract. Well, she has like the ceremony to get her spirit. It is a no-name spirit, and her family, her father specifically, does basically disown her. She is a very traumatizing incident from that moment, but somewhere in here, she's engaged to Prince Joseph. She has really subdued herself. She is not even being her real self. She more or less has put on this front because Prince Joseph doesn't like her wearing this. Prince Joseph doesn't like her being smarter than him. All these things. Well, Prince Joseph ends up calling off the engagement. And so here she is at this academy. She has been outcasted, made fun of because she has a no-name spirit because her fiance didn't want her anymore. And all this time she's acted really dumb when she's really smart. But the thing is, our male lead here, Yuri here, he takes her very serious. I think they meet up at the library and she basically challenges him in this, does it say? She has this challenge and it sort of revives her and gets back her spunk that she had and her love and her fondness for learning about spirits and just growing as a student and as a person. And it very, very, very slow burn romance. Yuri be given like no crumbs, period. But he's a great male lead. I feel like Seventh Time Loop, this is a great manga to read if you're wanting to try out the villainous genre, but you don't want an actual villainous manga, or you're just wanting to dip your toes into it, because this is villainous in title only. She's treated as a villainess because she was disowned by her family and she's outcasted. But Brigade is like the sweetest. She is so beautiful inside and out. I love her love for learning, and I love how she is really able to pick herself up. And so here's Yuri, somebody who is taking her seriously after she's been dumped, and he's like, you know, I thought and I was told that you're pretty dumb, but you don't act like it. And it's sort of like a backhanded compliment a little bit. Like, oftentimes he says things, or I think it's just more of how he talks and conveys himself. Like, he doesn't mean to be rude, or maybe he does. I don't really know. It's hard to say with him. But yes, they did. They met at the library when they were trying to get the same book. And so he's very surprised when she doesn't back down and challenges him. And that is, I'm trying to find, there's a quote that she says. Oh my gosh, sorry, we're at the part with Prince Joseph, and he's like, I think simple girls are really cute, the simpler the better. And she's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, oh, just like that. I like how simple you sounded just now, saying you don't understand anything and asking for answers. Yeah, he the worst. He live out the villain role, in my opinion, hands down. But she does this challenge. I cannot find that quote, but I really love how, too, with Yuri, that he's more or less like, why would you be stupid and put off the things you love just for a guy? And it's like, look now, she just got dumped. There ain't no need to put salt in the wound when you saying all of that. But I feel it's just this beautiful story of her trying to live out her life and pursue her passions once again. I forgot what she wants to do with the spirits, but basically it's some kind of role or some kind of job where she studies them and is able to convey her knowledge to other people. But she squashed it when she was dating or engaged to Prince Joseph And so now it's like she has this second chance, so to speak, thanks to Yuri taking her seriously. I think he was the catalyst for her because it wasn't even romantic or anything in the beginning. But the more he takes her seriously, I feel like that's when she starts realizing, I love this guy. I'm starting to have genuine feelings for him, and seeing all of the cute moments for her, how she gets unnerved and really blushy, was just so adorable. And I mean, there's so many times where she has been just mentally stepped on and berated, and how she's chosen to still help her classmates despite how they treated her outside of Yuri here is really, really admirable. And how she's starting to open herself up to people, like her new friends that she's made, and Yuri included, is beautiful. Like with volume 4 that recently released, I totally got emotional and almost cried because she's come so far from this beginning. And I think this is a beautiful series if you want to see a heroine get her life back and see her live out her love and her passion, all alongside competing with the male lead to see who's smarter, who's better in things. But he genuinely cares for her. So it's not just a competition and them being friends in that sense. I do believe that Yuri cares for her. And I think based off of the last volume that I read, there is something more. And what I mean by that, without going into spoilers and staying vague, is I think they might have known each other before they met at this school. I don't know because it was vague in the manga. So I'm like, what did that mean? What did that mean? I don't even remember if we have a volume 5 up for pre-order, but this is definitely a series I really wish was released faster, because as a reader, I feel like it challenges me in a great way to not sacrifice my passions just so that person can feel better about themselves, whether that be in real life or online. And thankfully, I have a really supportive husband and family, so I have not felt like that in a really, really long time. But it makes it very beautiful to see this journey. And I think I might have said that twice by accident, but it has surprised me because I didn't expect to get attached to Brigitte as a character and be so invested in her journey, especially when you see her backstory and it's like, girl, I'm 100% all in seeing you go out there and live your best life. Like, please, please do. Whether that's by Yuri's side or not, I'm not too worried. I mean, I love the romance. The romance feeds me the little breadcrumbs. I eat them up every time and I always want like a whole loaf of bread. I just love Brigitte as a character and truly hope that there's nothing but good things for her coming in the future, and that Prince Joseph, that man, get off the page. Like, let that man be thrown in the trash. Like, he is shady as all get out too. Like, oh, he's just bad news. I don't like him. I don't like how he made a little bit of a comeback in volume 4. Absolutely not. We're ready to see our red hair girly thrive and do all she can to grow as a student, learn all the things about spirits, and hopefully have some really cool things happen with her own no-name spirit. For number 5, okay, I sort of struggled with this one in the sense, okay, is she a pink hair girly or is she a red hair girly? And I don't know how to say her name, and I don't remember even what her name is. I feel so bad saying that because this Villainess series is so fun, and that is the Villainess Stands the Heroes. This is the cover of volume 1, okay? This is like a burgundy, maybe dark pink, red. And then you open the inside, her hair would be looking brown. And I'm like, okay, because if we close that, we look at the cover of volume 3, her hair looks like a pink. So I'm going for a pink red. I feel like she fits. Oh my goodness. She is a very, very fun villainous character. I love her. She is great. So she's been recreated into her favorite otome game. And the thing is, what makes this series different for the villainous genre is she embraces 100% this villainous role. She's like, oh, you need me to treat my faves bad, in the sense she's got to have that wicked laughter and everything and look like she's just having a blast doing evil things. She's like, okay, I will do that. And that is exactly how this manga opens up. Her having, again, the time of her life being this villainous. Like, she's like, oh, did I make them angry? Oh, that's so great. But meanwhile, inside, this this is how she's like. When she's seen her faves, she's like, her faves in the flesh, she is just loving it, having a great time. And that really continues throughout the series. Yeah, where she's like, time to bust out the vile princess's punchline. And she does. She does with so much excitement. But the thing is, she got her best boy right here, who she loves. She would do anything for him. And she is so honest about her feelings for her fave, for her best boy, all of them. In fact, I think when it showed at the beginning when I was skimming through it, is that she died by all of her merch falling on her and her being buried by it. So really fun and interesting way to get recarded into your favorite otome game. But that's how the story goes. It's her interacting with these different characters, but there are some shady things happening, and she goes and she rescues certain faves and helps them in certain ways, and then she goes against the hero and the heroine, but underneath it sort of like helping them at the same time, because she uses her memories to help quicken things where they go and defeat the ultimate bad guys. It's a really fun series. I find her to be one of the most relatable heroines. There are a few moments, like when I was going over volume 3, I'm like, girl, I'm like, no, I can't relate to you on that one. But her love for her faves, I do. I feel like I would be that kind of person that is like, okay, I need to live out this villainous role just so I could see my faves. Oh yes, let's do it all day. We got this. And though I feel like inside I would ultimately be this was like so dazzling because she loves them. She began nosebleeds, I think, even with the guy, I forget his name. And it's interesting because there's a really great fantasy world building. Like, I was trying to find her. I don't have volume 2. I was trying to find her, but she's a bunny character and the way she looks is great. And even the ultimate baddie, he was, you can't see her ears, but this is her other, like, this is her best girl, I guess you would say. And it has this, I think of Yakuza-like, but I'm not really sure that's accurate. But she was really fun. I loved when she came on page in volume 2, seeing them all interact together. And there's also a little bit of like zombies, if you need a little bit of zombie. There's really good action though. There is a scene when I was flipping through this, I was like, oh my goodness, I like this girl looks super amazing. So I appreciate the, right here. Look at this! Look how cool she looks. And of course, our female lead, our Villainess, is just thriving. And she's like, she's so amazing. And I'm like, girl, yes. So I find this a relatable Villainess series in that how our female lead reacts to different things that are happening with these characters. She is loving it and like, yes, excited. It's really not until what, volume 4 or 5, whatever the latest volume is, that she's starting to have a little bit of jealousy. Before this point, she's like, follow the plot, do whatever needs to be done. If we need to act like a Villainess here, we will be there. We will show up and we will play our role perfectly. But when things start involving some feelings, because I loved how in this first volume it's really addressed, like her best boy, he knows everything. They have, I'm hoping, a romance. She is trying to explain and he feels like, well, she's never going to view him as an actual love interest because that's just her 2D best boy slash fave. While she's like, no, I love you for you. You are special. And so how that fangirl and your best boy sort of reminds me of like Taemin, of how there's something there. There's like a gap there between fan and idol. And I feel like there's another series that has it as well. So it definitely has this, except for he's just her best boy. Because she's like, no, I can't touch you. I have to shear you and go against the fan code if I just make you mine personally. And I cannot do that. So when it came to the romance and seeing her slowly but surely overcome some of those hurdles was the most satisfying thing. It's a fun series if you are a fan. If you're a fangirl for your faves and you're just thrusted into the game that has your faves, I truly think you will enjoy this. I saw that the latest volume, or like volume, I can't remember what volume, is volume 5? I can't remember what volume we're on, but that it's going to be releasing sometime early next year, and I'm really curious of where the series is going to go. It's just a good time. It's just a good time, but it has some great action and sometimes some intensity, and I do know that later on in the series, even though she's known everything of like the direction of the plot and knowing where to go, look how cute he looks. He looks so cute. But yeah, knowing where to go and what to do, there is something happening where she does not know what to do because she's like, this wasn't in the game, so how do I make decisions going forward and where I'm supposed to be and how I'm supposed to help these characters. Very engaging and interesting plot that has a lot of humor, shenanigans as well, and I just find that it's a really fleshed out and fun story that had a uniqueness because of that fangirl aspect. I mean, how many times have we seen a villainess die because her merch fell on her and buried her? You know, like, that's unique in itself. So yeah, if you need a fun fangirl series, just loving her faves, living out that villainous role to the best of her abilities, this is definitely one I would give a shot and give a try. And that, my friends, are all the red-haired girlies I had for you today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And again, I'm sorry I don't have any pink-haired girlies. Let me know of some pink-haired villainesses that you know of, or maybe, you know, are there other red-haired villainesses you're like, Laura, I wish you would have featured them. Let me know down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!